In today's economy, cash flow is tight, and families are held captive to high interest rate credit card debt. Churchill Mortgage can restructure your current mortgage and significantly reduce these problems. Get a free analysis and learn how to eliminate credit card interest rates, lower bills, and start taking control of your budget. Get started at churchillmortgage.com. This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender. 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
Come unwrap some holiday magic this season in Denver, where the lights are brighter and the shopping is grander, where the season feels a whole lot more wonderful. Discover great hotels and more things to do at milehighholidays.com.
In times of old, in times of new, there's a God to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field, and you will.
What is going on, party people? Specifically, our Pop Culture Field Manual family. What is going on? You are tuned in to another episode of the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast. But you probably knew that because I literally just said Pop Culture Field Manual podcast multiple times.
And you're listening to this, which means you saw it and clicked on it.
Yeah,
so we're good to go.
I'm just rambling at this point.
That's all right, man.
That's fine. Well,
hey, this is going to be a fun one today. So.
It is going to be a super fun one because it's really personable. It's really personal to us. It's what we like. But you know what else is also personal? Our Patreon. If you want to get a little closer to Izzy and I, really close,
emotionally and spiritually, not physically,
you can tune into our Patreon. I don't know. Patreon. It's so hard to say.
Get over there, Patreon.
Yeah. So our Patreon gives you exclusive content, never before seen footage on
alien attacks,
like
lizard
anything.
people.
We have exclusive podcasts that air only for our patrons, and more importantly, my favorite, we do a monthly movie night with our patrons, which Izzy and I live stream a badass movie and literally have you guys along with us commenting in real time. So it's a really fun time, and if you're interested in that, go ahead and head on over to our Patreon. Also, if you want to support the podcast in another way, you can donate to us through Buy Me a Coffee. So that's buymeacoffee.com/PCFM podcast. And what else is that?
Hey, shoot us an email, pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. Get a hold of us at My Happy Self 2 or Cam and Izzy on Instagram, or find us on the Twitterverse. If you can wade through all the garbaggio. But yeah, get a hold of us, guys. We love your questions. We love interacting with you guys.
Y'all are the best.
You make it fun. So,
what's today about, man? What are we doing?
Today, we understand what you guys are going through. You wake up early. You do your workout, you take your protein shake, you get right to work, building your life, building your career, building your family up, raising your kids.
One brick at a time.
Raising yourself, maybe. Maybe you're just moved out of your parents' basement. You finally got that job on your own. You finally got that place to live with yourself.
Like this.
In a different basement. You're working on self-improvement, man. You're listening to Dave Goggins, Jocko Willink books. You're working hard. You play hard. You keep your eyes on the prize, your nose to the grindstone, and your feet firmly planted on solid rock of responsibility, and you're completely exhausted. So,
what do you do?
What do you do, man, to unwind? What do you do to relax? Today, it's all about the guilty pleasures. It's all about those things that you do to help yourself unwind, to recharge, refresh, recycle, renew, reuse. That's something different. But yeah, just to get your batteries charged, something that it's the cotton candy of life. It's the little starburst packs of happiness that just make you feel good and help you relax and get your mind off of all of the other things that are going on. Like this podcast. In fact, I want you guys to tell us whether or not this podcast is your guilty pleasure.
Please, that would be a huge compliment.
No, wait a second, Cam. I think I might have maybe misinterpreted the meaning of guilty pleasure, because I think guilty pleasures generally are intended to be something that is not good objectively, maybe, but that you just enjoy regardless of whether or not anybody else enjoys it. I went broader. I just said, I just enjoy these things. You know what I mean?
No, I took it and had a very similar perspective of it, because you can take it anyway, right? I mean, generally of how you perceive this is, doing the right thing and being consistent might be your guilty pleasure. If you're a weirdo,
It just gives you that.
It just gives you that guilty pleasure. Something that just, when the chips are down and you're exhausted, something that just revitalizes you, makes you feel good, and may be unconventional, right? It might be super conventional, but something that you take time out of your day to rehone and refocus and just give yourself a little treat, right? So Izzy and I have compiled a bunch of guilty pleasures from pop culture or to just basic meals that we like to eat. I don't know, man. Yeah, at least that's what I did. When you said guilty pleasure, I was like, Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah, it can be anything. I think we both have Taco Bells on our list.
No, dude, I don't know.
I mean, we can talk about it in the context of our military service because a lot of times with what we were doing, especially being in the units that we're in, sometimes you put in long hours, not even like deployment style, but like you are maybe going off on a training op for like a week or two. Maybe you're still at Fort Lewis, but you're out in the woods for a couple of days, or they're sending you to a school.
Yeah.
It's a high op tempo. You're always, I remember in SF, there were very few times when we were not having full days. It was either right after deployment. It was like basically right after deployments because there would be about a month where you would kind of like take off, you'd get out of work after lunch, you'd have half days, things like you were putting your stuff away, cleaning your equipment, and then you'd start training up again.
Exactly. What do you do to kind of just like get prepared in the mindset to do it all over again? Because you're absolutely right. In the military, the op tempo, you're axe to the grindstone. Like you are sharpening, but these little guilty pleasures really just, allow you to reset and hit it again the next day. So, Izzy, why don't you take it off? Let's start with a theme or a category here. Let's start with movies.
Movies. Okay, we'll go movies first.
Okay, so what is a guilty pleasure movie? Regardless if it involves military or whatnot, just let us have it, dude.
I have many guilty pleasures, but chief among them would be the 2008 movie Speed Racer.
Interesting.
Directed by the Wachowski humans. Starring, I forget his name, a bunch of great people. This movie, like, it's based off of an anime, right? And the Wachowski peoples, Emil Hirsch plays the Speed Racer, and Christina Ricci, Susan Sarandon, Matt Fox, and even John Goodman's in it. It's based off of it's kind of cheesy now, but it's a anime from Japan, and he's like a racer. It's a racetrack, but like. There's also like they can do like jumps and spins and all. It's like car acrobatics. It's completely outside of normal reality. It does not take place in the real world. It's ridiculous. It's the color palette of the movie looks like a unicorn vomited on the film reel.
I think I know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, it's super colorful and super like high. Like, don't watch it if you're prone to seizures, kind of flashy lights and stuff like that, and high action. And it has a special place in my heart because it was the last movie I saw before I deployed. We were leaving that day, and we were going to leave like at noon, and there was like a big holdover, somebody lost something, and we had to wait for something. So I come back at 8 p.m. tonight. So I had like 8 hours to kill. So my girlfriend at the time had already dropped me off. We'd already said our goodbyes. I had nothing to do, so I went to the movies, and I saw Speed Racer. I think it had just come out right before I was, and it was just like it's like this like syrupy sweet kind of hopeful kind of movie, and there's like some really sincere performances. Susan Sarandon and John Goodman, both amazing performers, and Emil Hirsch,
Sure.
And you have to totally be. You have to accept it. Yeah, you have to totally be about it to accept it. Because if you, like, it's weird. It was one of those movies where if I watch it, if I'm high, I hate this movie. I watch this movie.
Dude,
I'm like, this
cool.
is the dumbest movie of all time. I get the same way with Pacific Rim if I'm high. I don't get high anymore because I love Pacific Rim. But Speed Racer, because it's ridiculous. But if you let yourself believe in it, like the flipping cars and the jumping around and just the amazingly ridiculous tracks.
If you're watching it for a Grammy, or no, not a Grammy.
An
Oscar, there we go. Still don't know the difference. But if you're watching it for an Oscar, if you like want a good story, if you want some like inspirational stuff, you're in the wrong theater.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
And so when I watch this movie, and there's certain parts where I will fast forward to these certain parts, like towards the end, it's like the final race, and like there's a part in the race in the very beginning when he stalls out, and he like everybody passes him, and he's like way in back, but then he's like, tell me what you need. He's talking to the car, and he like
feel the car.
Yeah, feel the car, feel what it needs and stuff. And he pops it right into a second. He zooms out, and there's like these like monologues that are going on, like he's remembering all these inspirational things that have happened to him throughout the course of the movie.
Sure, why not?
And it's meant to be like super inspirational, and it's like I'm totally there. I'm totally like caught up, and I get like emotional and stuff watching it. And I believe I believe in Speed Racer, and I believe in Crystal Light because I believe in meat.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Speed Racer.
Speed Racer, very cool. Well, I will mention one. It's super random, though. But I literally, as I was thinking of guilty pleasures, because I have a lot, let's be honest. I have a very addictive personality.
We're like 70% guilty pleasure, 30% responsibility.
Absolutely. Straight up man-child over here. But I watched this the other day, and it was I thought it was one of the funniest movies that ever came out when it did. And, I watched it again because it was available on Netflix. But Role Models. With Paul Rudd and what's his face from
McLovin.
Yeah, McLovin's in it. Let's see, Role Models cast. Let me get that cast, boy.
Lord, you
Paul
mean
Rudd,
Sean William Scott?
Yeah, Sean William Scott.
I don't think I've ever heard of this movie.
Christopher Mint. Oh man, it is one of the in my opinion, one of the funniest movies that came out. And I don't know, it came out in 2008, and there is something about comedy movies that came out in this maybe decade, 2000 to 2010, that I think will never be matched again. Because it was let's see, what else came out? I think it was around when Step Brothers came out. Let's see,
Was this during the Judd Apatow period of comedy?
This was here's a couple. So this was Step Brothers, Anchorman, Superbad, Old School, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Pineapple Express, Hangover. These movies that you can't recreate this type of genius in comedy. It just fit in with all of those.
Yeah.
So Role Models is super funny.
Yeah, Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah. It's those movies can never, no one will top the level of comedy that generation, that decade of comedy movies that came out. Role Models was one of my favorite.
It was very specialized.
Yeah. It's about, two guys, they work for an energy drink company that keeps kids off drugs, and Paul Rudd's character is such a pessimist. He hates everything. He goes to, for example, Starbucks and he tries to order coffee with his girlfriend, and she's like, "Can I get a large coffee?" And she's like, "Oh, a venti?" And he means, "No, I mean a large coffee." And then he's like, "Well, it's called a venti." And he's like, "No, it's called a fucking large," And he's just such a pessimist. And he's like, and then, he's one of those guys who just hates every little thing that people do, and he lets you know about it. But his girlfriend breaks up with him because he's just such a pessimist. And he goes down this spiral and ends up parking his truck that looks like a minotaur on the back of a statue that looks like a horse. So now this horse looks like it's getting butt fucked by a minotaur. And then they're trying to get 30 days in prison, but they end up getting put in a rehabilitation community service thing, where it's called Sturdy Wings, and it's super ironic because the logo is two hands that look like wings, but one hand's really small, and these wings aren't sturdy at all. Everything about the movie's fun, and the whole point is they basically get assigned kids, and they're quote unquote big, and the kid is a little, and they just have to hang out with them.
Like Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Yeah, and let's see here. I keep forgetting his name, and I'm
Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott is a giant partier, womanizer type of character, and Paul Rudd gets stuck with McLovin, who is a giant nerd LARPer. So there's LARPing in the movie, and it's super awesome. And then I don't know what ever happened to this guy, but Bobby J. Thompson, the young kid actor.
Okay, all right.
Playing Ronnie. Ronnie, and he's literally the most out of pocket kid in the thing. He's when you first get introduced to his character, he's drawing, and Sean William Scott looks over. He's like, "What are you drawing there?" And you look over, and it's literally a picture of Beyonce pouring sugar on Ronnie's dick that he's drawing, and Beyonce has big boobs, and he's just what the heck? You're what the heck is going on? But the movie's just slapstick humor. Some of these jokes are just out of control. And yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite comedies.
Yeah, that's great. It's one of those ones that you kind of never get tired of seeing.
Exactly. I literally watched it the other day, and I've seen this movie over 30 times, and I could not keep myself from cracking up. My fiance was like, "Can you go in the other room?" And I'm one of those guys that will quote the entire movie before they say it. And literally, she's like, "You either need to stop or we're turning the movie off." And I'm under my breath, I'm like, "No, I don't want to take my pants off." Whispering eyes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Role Models is one of my favorite little guilty pleasure comedies there. I just had to throw it on because it was so nice revisiting that.
Nice, man. Well, speaking of movies that I could watch or have watched dozens and dozens of times, it's coming back. It's a classic, folks. That's right, Tron. You thought I was going to say Aliens.
The original Tron or the remake?
Original Tron, 1982. I actually like Tron Legacy. I remember saw it in 2010. It was right after I got out of the military, actually. Enjoyed it. Has some flaws, but Tron 1982, I saw that when I was like, it was one of those things where we had to rent it every time we went to the movie store. We'd go to rent VHS tapes back when they existed.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, Major Video, baby.
Hollywood movie or
Hollywood video. Even before then, man.
Oh man.
Local mom and pop shop.
Come unwrap some holiday magic this season in Denver, where the lights are brighter and the shopping is grander. The shows are more spectacular, the trees taller, the festivities merrier. So come for your holiday traditions or make some new ones with your friends and family in the Mile High City, where the season feels a whole lot more wonderful. Discover great hotels and more things to do at milehighholidays.com.
We never bought it. I don't understand why my parents never bought it, because I demanded it every time we went to rent a movie. It was never just a movie. It was Tron in a movie, you know? But dude, it's just, I remember seeing it, and it came out in 1982, so I don't know if I actually saw it in theaters. I have a memory of it, but that could have just been my imagination. Like I wanted.
You were so small that the TV looked so big that it might as well have been a movie.
It might as well have been in the theater, yeah. But man, it's like, it's Jeff Bridges, and he plays Flynn, and he gets put into a computer, you know. But it's like a physical, what we thought a physical form of the computer would look like. It's like diodes and little circuits and stuff walking around, you know. And it's like the battle between, like, he's like a user and the rest are programs. That's where you get greetings programs from. And just the magical world. It was like very early CGI too.
I've seen Tron and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, they got like the outfits on and the light discs, man. The frisbee discs and stuff. The little data discs they throw back and forth and kill each other. And it's just real. I dig it. It's really well done. I'm sure it has some leaps in logic now that I think about it, but I never get tired of watching it. Like, I can always put it on. Like, I got Disney Plus now.
Yeah, it just looks like everybody's just playing laser tag.
Yeah.
Right, literally.
Yeah, man. And it's like the evil Sark and the Master Control Program are kind of taking over everybody and turning everybody into little slave programs and stuff like that. And Flynn, man, Tron has the amazing light battle with giant Sark because the Master Control Program gives him his power at the end. Ooh. I love it. I think the best line is when Tron and Sark Tron's trying to get to he's trying to throw his data disk into the data stream to free the program, to free all the systems and stuff. And he's fighting Sark, and they're throwing their things back and forth. And Sark's like, you're persistent, Tron. And Tron's like, I'm also better than you. And he throws this disc, and he slices him in the head. And then the Master Control Program gives Sark his powers, and he's like 50 foot tall. Great. And stuff. But then Jeff Bridges throws himself into the data stream and opens up the portal. So, it gives him his touts.
Yeah.
And then they win. And he gets back in. And I love Tron Legacy because it continues. It's a direct sequel, which I think it's so awesome because it's like literally 20 years later.
Josh Brolin is in the Legacy, right?
Jeff Bridges. He's in Legacy. He ends up getting sucked into the computer and disappearing for like 20 years, and his son Garrett Hedlund goes looking for him, or he gets sucked into. And they did a great job of like the art design of going back into that kind of neon and black world. Really cool. Olivia Wilde's in it. And I think they're going to make a sequel. At the time of this recording, I think they're still working on another sequel, which hopefully has Cillian Murphy, because he has like a cameo in it in Tron Legacy, where you just know the only reason he's in that was so that he could be in the next movie that they're making, which is like, it's like 12 years later. We still haven't made it. So yeah, Tron, man, 1982, man, never get tired of watching that movie.
I can't really, for this next Guilty Pleasure movie, I can't really just say movie, but it's pretty basic, I would assume. But literally any movie that features Army Rangers in it is such a guilty pleasure, because like we would watch those movies on deployment or just any time, and just everyone would be able to quote like every single piece of it. So like obviously movies we talked about in length, so like Black Hawk Down, Saving Private Ryan, but one specifically that features one of the most famous Rangers of all time, Con Air, Cameron Poe, aka Nicolas Cage. That's a great movie. not only is his haircut like the best thing, but obviously you have like what? No, it has a pretty killer cast on it. Is Wesley Snipes in it? No,
not Wesley Snipes.
What's his face?
John Malkovich is in it. He plays, I think it's Cyrus the Virus.
Yeah, Cyrus the Virus.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle's in it.
Dave Chappelle.
You have Dave Chappelle in it. Steve Buscemi.
Yep, Steve
who's
Buscemi.
Like the psycho
He's
guy.
the red herring. You think he's this like psycho dude, and then he ends up like not doing a single thing.
But he's like the one that they make look like Hannibal Lecter.
Yep.
Because he's like the psycho killer. And then Danny Trejo's in it, of course, playing some gangbanger as always. And yeah, Cyrus the Virus is awesome. John Cusack is like his U.S. Marshal accomplice that is in contact with Nicolas Cage.
With Cole Meany, a.k.a. Chief O'Brien from Star Trek.
Yeah, and he's literally, the intro's the best part where he's got his greens on, but he's got and it's all rangered out with like his deployment scroll and his blue cord and all his medals and stuff, and he's dancing, and obviously those douchebag guys are like hitting on his chick, and he just kills him with his bare hands because they're trying to mess with her, and I'm just like,
yes! Deadly weapon, like any good ranger.
Exactly. Every single ranger is just a weapon with legs.
Yeah.
But no, it was like any movie. Like, for example, they just that new movie Dog with Channing Tatum is also a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I never saw it. Did you see
it's
that?
It's really, really
touching?
good, man.
Is it
is very
story?
touching because like a lot of elements in it are like at Fort Lewis. Like, did you ever go to Gertie's?
No.
You never went to Gertie's?
What's Gertie's?
Oh man, so Gertie's was right off base, main gate. It was a little inn diner next to all the Asian like sew shops.
Oh, I know the sew. I'm sure I must have.
There is a little
Galloping Gertie's Bar and Grill.
Gertie's.
Right,
yeah,
cool.
so that is it's in it, like they lose a guy to suicide and like they all go there for like a memorial, and there's like a bar at Gertie's, and I used to go every weekend to Gertie's and eat a chicken fried steak and read Lord of the Rings.
This is some good hometown cooking, man.
Yeah, no, that place is awesome, and like there's just little elements like that, and they show like rangers working out and stuff, but it's not on the compound, but it's like they made their own compound. But it's just like there's so many elements, and I think Channing Tatum does such a good job of like portraying a ranger that gets out.
All right, cool.
And it's just. There's so many it's just a good movie. I think it's a good movie, and there's like a bunch of inspirational stuff that like obviously being a ranger in the past, they like have little motifs that like you're just like, yes! And like the advisors on it are all former rangers, and like they I think it's just an excellent movie. And it, not to mention it's like a man relationship with a dog. Which
dude, the man dog, you can't not shed
There's
a
no
tear.
Stronger bond. Like everyone's like doesn't bat an eye when somebody dies in a movie, but when a dog dies, you're like, oh dude, it's game over.
That's why John Wick has been going strong for 3 films so far.
Yeah, and they continue as long as they keep killing dogs. John Wick's gonna start killing them.
Kill fools. Yeah,
yeah. But Dog was really good. I actually really enjoyed it just because it has those elements that like I experienced, and like I was like, oh, I know exactly where that is. Oh yeah, no, we used to do that. Oh yeah, that's exactly how you act.
I appreciate. I haven't seen it, but I'm just thinking about Dog right now. Like he could have been anybody. He didn't have to be a ranger. He didn't have to be a military guy. Could have just been about a dude going cross country with a dog. Yeah. Because that's a great bond. But they made him a ranger. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was great. And like obviously in the beginning they think the dog's like a psychopath and it's broken, but like through like their bonding and their trip, they get really close together. And it's like it's not his dog either. It
was his former buddy's dog.
His former buddy's dog that committed suicide, but they wanted the dog at the funeral for the family. So the family and not to mention, he's bringing all of his equipment that, he had in the military. So his uniform and everything to the funeral. But like at the end, his car breaks down. He ends up rucking like 20 miles to in Arizona because he's just like, what happens? He's like, Rangers love to ruck. And he like puts a backpack on and takes the dog. And then at one point the dog can't go anymore. So he just puts the dog on his shoulders and like basically just walks into the funeral all dirty and shit. But he's like, it didn't matter. He's like, I did it for my Ranger buddy. He's like, any other Ranger would have done the same thing. So yeah, it was a tear jerking movie, but yeah, it was great. Anything that has Rangers in it is like, obviously any movie that has special forces in it, or if you're in the military and you see like your unit portrayed in a movie, it's like, you're like squeezing your fist because you're like, yes!
Yeah, that's my boys.
Those are my guilty pleasures for movies, and of course, Lord of the Rings. But yeah.
Let's. You got a TV show, man? I got one I want to talk about.
TV show? Oh no.
Well, let me just talk about this one. We can move on to other stuff too. But
sure,
I can't talk about a guilty pleasure without talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Go for it.
Oh my God, there's. I mean, I could watch any number of Star Trek: The Next Generation episodes over and over and over again. Yeah, it's just like it's like comfort food. You know, it's like coming in, like maybe if I'm cleaning or if I'm doing the dishes or if I'm doing something else and I just need something on in the background, that's what I put up. Star Trek: The Next Generation. And actually one specific episode from season 3, Offspring, where Data creates another android, lol. Dude, I cry every time, man.
Oh my God.
I cry. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's I don't know why I keep going back to that one. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, I know. Yeah, season 3, episode 16, Offspring. I think it's just because of the bond, like because of the acting and like within 53 minutes, you just get this really rich kind of family story. And then he has to let her go at the end. He has to deactivate her because she actually starts feeling emotion, which is supposed to be impossible for them as androids.
And you're like, no.
But then as a result, her system breaks down. So he has to deactivate her and stuff. And so,
sad.
Yeah, it's so good, man. But Star Trek: The Next Generation, I grew up watching it. Always been a big sci-fi fan. It just kept getting better and better. It's classic television writing, you know, that episodic television writing where the characters are very well defined and they're all unique, you know, and they go through different scenarios and stuff like that. And just really cool. I'm always gonna love Star Trek: The Next Generation, which is why I'll probably never watch Picard, the new Star Trek show.
Never heard of it.
It's a new Star Trek show where it's Captain Picard, but it's totally different. The tone is different. The writing is different. You know, what he's about, what he's going through is totally different. And I just don't think I could do that to myself. I have to keep his memory in my mind.
Yeah, positive.
Picard, yeah.
Totally. Well, you know, you talk about a favorite show. I had one that popped up in my brain, and it was like, and we had an entire series on this type of TV anime. So, like, I love Naruto.
Okay.
Like, growing up, I had all the Naruto, like, graphic novels. Like, I literally had all the headbands and stuff. I was one of those geeks that would run with his hands behind his back at school because I thought that was so fucking cool. That's
the Naruto
that's
run.
What ninjas do. I, like,
ninja
looked
run.
on eBay for, like, throwing stars and the kunai knives that they would like throw. I remember I was like practicing throwing knives at trees because I wanted to be a ninja growing up. Super weird kid. But yeah, no,
sounds normal to me.
Yeah, dude. And it's weird because like even the other day I put on One Piece and in a matter of 3 days I was able to knock out 86 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Literally, and then I was like, why do I watch One Piece? I was like, actually, I don't like it that much. Yeah. But no, Naruto was awesome. Like, I could literally sit there, and they're super fast. They're like, or at least One Piece was like 24 minutes each episode, so that's how I was able to knock out. Like, I was doing 20 episodes a day. Yeah, Naruto will always be like a guilty pleasure of mine, just putting it on and letting it run. Yeah. Just because I thought it was just such a good show, and like, it just reminds me of my childhood so much. So it's like, I think things that are super nostalgic for me personally, like that I did growing up that I might not be into now, is the biggest guilty pleasure because it just takes me back to a time where I was like innocent and whatnot. It just
you didn't have as many responsibilities.
Yeah, no. It's like a getaway. So like definitely Naruto would be, I would say, a TV show of mine. What about a video game, man? Do you have a video game guilty pleasure?
Well, there's a couple things I can say about video games. It's a guilty pleasure when it comes to video games. I have one that I would especially like to mention, but it's not just video games that I love playing. The guilty pleasure is the amount of time that I would allow myself to play video games. I don't do this anymore. I don't know. There may be a time, like maybe after I get married and my wife's like on assignment somewhere or whatever, and I have the weekend to myself and I don't have any other responsibilities. But I used to let myself play video games for hours.
Absolutely. Just lock the door,
8,
close
10, 12 hours. Yeah, man.
Yeah, lock the door, close the blinds, turn the pictures away, light some candles, and just game, man.
Just game for dozens and dozens of hours. I mean, I'd go to bed at like 5 a.m, and sleep all afternoon. I just can't do that anymore because there's just have too many. And that's okay. There's a certain part of me that's like that. It's like a kid thing. But man, oh man, I used to play,
But if you had the opportunity.
Yeah. There was a sweet spot in mid to late 2009 when I was out processing from the Army, so I wasn't on a team. I was just doing my day-to-day stuff. I was on my own recognizance, so as long as I was on a steady clip to getting all those blocks checked to get out, I could do whatever I wanted. I show up to the team in the morning, check in, and then I'd be off. And I played, it was like BioShock, Fallout 3, and Dead Space were like around that time I had those games. And that's what I'll say when it comes to the one video game I'll mention. It's the Fallout series. And not just the Fallout series, but what I would do is I would just wander. Like it's an open world RPG. Fallout 3. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Just the idea of wandering around the waste. They've done such a good job of creating cool characters and cool scenarios and stuff. I actually think Fallout 3, in my opinion, did a better job of creating just little pocket adventures for your character to go through, because there's a through line, there's a main story, but you don't have to follow. You can just wander around the wasteland. It's retro future post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's like, what if technology advanced, but everything looked like the 1950s and 40s? You know?
Sure.
But anyway, it's the guilty pleasure is that I would just wander around and not do any missions. I would just fight little monsters, and then I would wander
Just
town,
doing whatever you want,
and buy stim
not doing
packs.
what the man tells you to do.
Just like
living your life, man.
Exactly. Yeah, just seeing what's out there. And I had such a good time, especially in that sweet spot period when I was out processing from the Army, especially Fallout 3 was like, oh, it was just so sweet, man. Because it's the elation, it's the light feeling that you know that you don't have anything to do tomorrow. So you don't have to go to bed. You know, you just play, man. It's cool.
That's cool. At least for me, for video games, I have two. And like I've talked about this one in depth before, but World of Warcraft, I was really heavily invested in that. Growing up, like Wrath of the Lich King, I was really into it. But then I joined the Army and then took a break. But then when I got settled in regiment, and like I was, 19 when I showed up. So I was a young man. Like I couldn't go out to the bars with the guys on the weekends. Like that wasn't an option for me. So plus my team leader was like, if I ever see you out at the bars, I'm going to fucking kill you. So I was like, it's just like, okay, can't do that. So I remember on the weekends, I would literally just go up in my barracks room, and I had a desktop that I brought from home with me. And I had like a tower that I had like a custom gaming tower that I had all through high school. And I just would sit there, and my roommate would buy me a bottle of Jameson. And I would literally just sit there and sip on this little glass of whiskey and just play World of Warcraft for hours when Cataclysm came out. Like I was always really big into like Blizzard games. I went to BlizzCon 2010. That was my birthday present,
dude.
Because my dad knew one of the sound engineers for Blizzard, so he was able to get tickets for me.
Man.
And then that was an awesome convention because that was right before Cataclysm came out. So like I got to play like the beta and like play as like the Worgen and the goblins before they were introduced as characters. And then not to mention Tenacious D played the BlizzCon, so I got to see Tenacious D in concert. And honestly, it was a great show. Like they brought out some dude dressed as Lich King, and like when they played the metal, you know the metal, they would have they had the Lich King come out, and then the metal guy in the costume, and they would fight on stage during the show. So like it was awesome. But yeah, I would always just because I couldn't drink or anything, so that would be my guilty pleasure. But then I also have the Halo 3.
Halo 3 specifically.
Specifically, because, Halo 3 obviously wasn't the newest Halo out. At the time, it was like Halo Reach.
Okay.
But on deployment, Halo 3 was the only game we had. Literally, it was the only game we had. So I had a lot of time to play and get good. Not to mention growing up, like Halo 3 was the bee's knees of any Halo that came out. Like everybody was playing this game.
To this day, I'm streaming Halo right now, the whole series, and we just finished 3. To this day, people say 3 is their favorite. A lot of people say
3 is the best Halo that has ever came out. Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is about it, but it has every like aspect that was great. But yeah, I would still go back and play Halo 3 if I could. If I had an Xbox 360, it just was the best. Plus, like growing up, I remember I'd always go to my neighbor's house, and like his older brother had an Xbox, and like we would sit there and just play Halo co-op and like dual screen. And that goes back to me doing nostalgic shit that reminded me of my childhood. So just Halo 3 was one of those games that I could still to this day totally get down. World of Warcraft, I'd say no. Just because they did way too much to the game. It's like the expansion.
That's why they had to bring vanilla back, right?
Yeah, they brought back vanilla that you can play vanilla strictly, and I'm pretty sure now you can actually play. And correct me if I'm wrong, WoW nerds out there, but you can actually play any of the expansions. Like you can choose which expansion you want to play up to, and you can roll that. But yeah, no. A lot of progression in that game. A lot of memories, and good memories and bad memories for fucking dying and shit, but and wasting countless hours. But yeah, actually, funny thing, my mom thought I was gonna not be able to have kids because I would play on the laptop so long that it would be on my lap. And I would, since it was like the first generation back, like it would get really hot, and like I would play it for hours, just letting it roast my thighs. And it was weird when I started growing leg hair. I didn't grow leg hair on my thighs because all the hair's like
just singed off.
Yeah, it just got singed, and like it literally looked like I had third-degree burn marks on my thighs. But then obviously I'm a hairy man now, and puberty came in overdrive, and I got hair. But for the longest time, I did not have hair on my thighs just because the laptop singed it off.
I'm just gonna chime in and say this one little thing, and I don't know why I know this, but yes. During that time with the new MacBooks, because of the radiation in it, it was a lot of men are like, why aren't my guys swimming very well? And it's like because you sat there with a laptop on your lap for so long, and so now you're.
I believe it. So I gotta go test my semen count to see if that had some long lasting effects.
Apple needs to
Cameron
stop.
Goes to the semen doctor.
Apple needs to stop using depleted uranium to make their Macs. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about video games. How about, now we're going to go to the really important stuff.
The food.
Do you have a guilty pleasure food?
I have many guilty pleasures of food.
But let's say you had one cheat day like right now. Where would you go?
One cheat day right now? I mean, it's always about like the movie night, right? You go to the store or like the getting high night. I used to have these nights where I would just like, tonight, I'm just going to get high and snack.
Sure.
And it's the root beer float. That's the first one.
Wow.
The root beer float, the Henry Weinhard's draft root beer with McConnell's vanilla ice cream. And also the $20 Domino's gluten-free custom pizza.
Okay.
Where you get double bacon, double pepperoni, green peppers, onions, feta cheese. Dude,
that must be an army thing.
Really?
I would eat Domino's because there was a Domino's right down the street from Ranger Redmond.
Domino's got good. They were like the trash for a while, and then they came back.
They are solid.
They're solid. Yeah.
I had a Domino's like last month, and I was like, man, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Italians are punching the air right now.
It's not a pizza.
It's not a pizza, man. It's a Napoleon. Yeah, but no, Domino's is good. You're absolutely right.
And when it comes to candy stuff, because I got to have some candy in there,
sure.
Sour Skittles and Starburst Flavor Reds. The Flavor Reds flan. Because to get that orange out of there.
You don't like the pink Starburst?
That's a Flavor Red. That's in there.
That's a flavor?
Yeah, that's a flavor. That's strawberry. You got strawberry and cherry and a couple other ones. But it's just the red flavors. Yeah, the reddish flavors.
The reddish flavors.
Yeah.
The reddish hue.
And anything gummy.
Anything gummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I allow myself one large vanilla Coke when I go to the movie theater, along with Milk Duds. But that's only at the movie theater. I only drink vanilla Coke at the movie theater.
So you drink a lot of vanilla Coke.
Well, not much these days. There's not a lot of good movies around, you know.
Man.
It's the home theater, but it's all about the home theater these days.
Yeah.
There's some good movies out there.
Sound.
Yeah. What about you, man? Food. Give it to me.
For me, easy answer, man. Taco Bell.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Bar poop?
I'll get to it.
Okay. I'm waiting for... Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'll make this one quick so
Taco
I can get
Bell,
to that
man.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, so Taco Bell, right?
I just saw that. I'm sorry. I just
You're
saw
good.
that.
Yeah, question mark. I knew it was... That's why I made it bold. To really draw your attention to it. Yeah, so Taco Bell, I could mess up some Taco Bell. Actually, a couple days ago, I went to Taco Bell and ordered $46 worth of stuff for myself. Yeah, I get anxiety when I go to Taco Bell because I want a lot of things, but I know I won't handle it. But I'll just like stress out and just be like, give me that. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, yeah, I put that on there. So yeah, I racked up
your
like
body's right. Your eyes are writing checks that your body can't cash.
No, so like Taco Bell, I don't know. I know it's so bad, but it's the best. This is what I tell myself. It's the healthiest fast food I can get. So, but no, I will.
It's an oxymoron.
I will mess up some Taco Bell. So if I have like a cheat day at the gym or something, or like an off day where I can like or I just feel like splurging, I will go to Taco Bell and just buy enough to feed an African nation.
Taco Bell's the secret late night dinner when you don't want anybody to know. That's a true guilty pleasure because I don't want anybody to know.
No, I'll go by myself. Yep. I'll wear a hat. I'll wear a hoodie, some sunglasses at nighttime, and I'll just be like, "Give me a."
They check the footage and like, I think it's him, but he's got the hoodie and the glasses.
Yeah,
on,
no, it's like you don't want anybody to know, but I'm a big Taco Bell fan. That is a splurge day. But I also say Brazilian steakhouses. For some reason, I am
Is that the one where they keep bringing the meat?
Meats. It's all meat.
Meat.
But the thing is, like, if I could go to like a Brazilian steakhouse that was also Argentinian, that's big because Argentinian is a lot of meat. It's literally just steaks and chicken and whatnot. But I say Argentinian because I love and I made this the other day, and like, I went crazy. I am a slut for chimichurri, dude.
Chimichurri.
You ever have chimichurri?
No.
Oh my.
Is that chimichanga
goodness.
or is it?
No,
is
it's
it a sauce?
a sauce.
Or,
it's like a dressing, but it's literally just parsley, garlic, and like a bunch of other stuff and a bunch of spices, and then it's just in olive oil. So like you scoop it out and it's super oily, but you let the oil drain and you just have parsley, garlic, and it's like super salty. It's just, dude, it's heavy, but man, it tastes so good.
Oh man!
And you just in Brazilian and mainly in Argentinian, because it's a chimichurri is an Argentinian like sauce. You put it on a steak and you put it on all the meat and stuff, and it just it's so, I can see it. My mouth is watering thinking about it.
That's great, man. Okay, you got to tell me about the bar poop.
Bar poop. Okay. Speaking of guilty pleasures, something my friends and I used to do, which was honestly the most adrenaline spiking thing that you could ever do. Like right even more of an adrenaline rush than like skydiving, in my opinion.
What?
Is taking a bar poop.
Taking a bar poop.
We called it a BP. So it was just you go to the bar, and like people don't like pooping at the bar because it's disgusting.
It's a disgusting bathroom.
And there is a bunch of people in the bathroom like waiting to use it. So it's adrenaline pumping for the fact that you go to the bathroom and you're pooping in the bathroom and people are like knocking on the door
waiting.
And you're like
you're the key to their salvation, man.
And you're like, it's literally an adrenaline rush because you're like, people are waiting for me, but
you hold the power of life and death in your hands.
It's the most exhilarating feeling ever. People are pounding on the door like, hey, hurry the fuck up. And you're just like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah, you're just enjoying it. You're taking extra flushes.
Yeah, and you get out and you're just like, I survived. I am a survivor. So then, we used to go to bars and like went out of our way to like poop at bars because it's just, I don't even know what to say, dude.
We may very well, we have to be the first podcast to ever do an episode that features the joys of relieving yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody would sink that low, to be honest, but we got to do it now.
It's a thing. Look, if you're listening to this and you like going to bars, literally just try to poop at a bar and you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
It's an
adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's
an adventure.
Taking a risk.
It's 100% risky.
Yeah.
And it always works out because obviously you just flick the lock off when you're done. But like people are knocking on the door, there's pressure, you start sweating, your heart starts beating.
You gotta relax, but you're tensed up, you know, because you let it go.
It's an adrenaline rush to see the list. So, don't take my word for it. Try it yourself and let us know at the PCFMpodcast@gmail.com.
PCFM podcast merch coming up. PCM podcast on the front,
BP.
on the back, BP.
BP. There you go.
You know what it means. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Folks, that's our list of some of our favorite guilty pleasures. We could do 7 episodes on because we have so many. What are some of your guilty pleasures? Let us know on social media.
We would love to hear it. But we're going to move on to our fan question. And we have 2 great questions that came to us from Travis Calvin on Instagram. Shout out to you, Travis, because I was like, can I use these? These are such good questions. And he's like, yeah, sure, man, go for it. But question number 1, how do you feel about B movies? Are they enjoyable because of how stupid the military scene/characters are, or are they too obnoxiously bad to be made fun of? What do you think?
I mean, it's like people ask us what tactic would you use, and we say it depends.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the movie, Like B movies generally, I'm not a fan because there's a lot of garbage out there.
Yeah.
But then there's the ones that rise to the top. Like you got like Troll 2. You got
the Leprechaun.
Troll 2. I mean, a lot of the later Leprechauns like Lep in the Hood or Leprechaun in Space. And then they had another direct-to-video one that just came out. It's so bad.
They're so bad.
But like The Room,
let's narrow it down to military B movies.
Okay, military B movies? Golly, I don't know. I mean, we watched American Sniper the other day.
You think that's a B movie?
I mean, it's a B movie by... I think it's a B movie by anything. It had a theatrical release back in the 80s, but I think our standards for military/ninja movies were a lot lower then.
Oh, American Ninja. You said American Sniper.
Oh, I'm sorry, not American Sniper.
Like,
sorry. American Ninja.
Yeah, I was
American
like, that's a B movie? Man, that was real high budget. Jeez.
It's American Ninja.
Yeah, no, that's a B movie for sure. But that's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
It was so bad that it was great.
Yeah, it was. So like I sometimes you just want to turn your brain off, or you want to see something, because B movies are interesting because sometimes if people try to make a bad movie, it's awful, it's unentertaining, it's unwatchable. But It's those ones where they tried to make it. They were sincere. You know, they really...
There was really thought behind it. There was effort, but it just flopped.
Yeah, but then it becomes kind of this cult classic, you know, this direct-to-video, which a lot of things, I guess you could say, are quote-unquote direct-to-video these days. But
I mean, that's what got Nicolas Cage started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Wicker Man.
Dude, the Wicker Man. That was in the depth. That was in the best
horror
of his
movie ever.
The depth of his career, like the pit, you know, like the pit of despair of his career.
Really,
man.
I thought that was one of the best movies.
He stands by it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so
bad. In my opinion, it's a comedy.
Oh man,
I look at it
it's
from
so bad. Yeah,
when that chick comes out and he just
Dexter
slugs her out of nowhere. That I was rolling, and he's like, "Not the bees."
Yeah, that's
bees.
the best part. Not the bees. Not the bees.
It's a comedy, but like if you look at it from a comedy perspective and not like an actual thriller, I think it's a great movie because I laughed my ass off the entire movie.
Right. It achieves B movie status because of what it is. Yeah.
I'm definitely agreeing with you on the fact that like there are B movies out there that are tried to be terrible and they are terrible, but the ones that, you know, put effort into it with the budget they have are great. But when it comes to military B movies, I hate them all. I tried watching...
What's a bill? Because I don't know that I've seen too many military B movies.
You don't want to watch these things. Dude, go on...
I try to only watch good military movies.
Either go on Amazon Prime or Hulu and look up their military section. You will find one. I just watched one the other day called like Black Ops, and it was a horror movie about a quote unquote Black Ops squad that goes in a stairwell and gets caught in an infinity, and like they can't go up, like the stairs just repeat themselves. And I turned it off after 15 minutes because like we've talked about our military cliches, like weapons handling, like it was just all so wrong that like I got angry. I was like, I cannot watch this. Like even the camera like angles and like they would act like the guy was aiming down his scope and show a reticle, but like it was totally off. Like it would do that and he would have like a pistol in his hand.
Oh my
and you're
gosh.
like, oh my, it was so bad. Like so bad. Like I can't even tell you how bad it was. Like I had to turn it off after 15 minutes. It wasn't even worth like more time. And every military B movie is like that because I feel like you need to make a military movie. You need a budget. You need a good budget, right? Because there's so much that you need. And like, if you want to make like an independent film and you don't have the budget, it's just like make Missing You if you want.
I gotta. Don't make Missing You. Don't watch Missing You.
Still Missing You.
But watch Missing You. I'm gonna get 12 cents every time somebody watches it. But the Red Dawn remake.
Guilty pleasure or terrible?
Terrible B movie.
Yeah. You think I mean, that was a big release, but you consider it a B movie?
Yeah, I mean, in my mind it is because obviously I love the original, you know, and I'm biased.
Can't beat the original.
You can't beat the original,
no.
man. And it's a dark, harsh film. This one, they just didn't go. They just can't do it. You know, and they make the North Koreans, and it's the Pacific Northwest, and it just doesn't have the gravitas that. And I think what they did is they held off on it. They filmed it. And then they waited for Chris Hemsworth to get like really, really big.
Yeah, and then released it.
Yeah.
And
then they released it, and it's still. I was lucky. I didn't have to pay to watch it because I went to like a pre-screening. I got to do like those pre-screener movies.
The guys with the clipboard that come up to you.
Take the survey.
I always thought it was a scam. I never did it.
No, my buddy. I was living with a guy who worked for that one of those companies, and he every once in a while would be like, "You want to go see a movie?" I'm like, "Yeah."
All right, so you got a game for me, man.
Yeah,
right?
man. I got this game for you. This game is called "Is This Making You Hungry?"
I am a little hungry right now.
In keeping with our foodie theme part of the Guilty Pleasures.
Absolutely.
Basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to name a movie, and then I would like you to name a specific food or beverage that was featured in this movie. Like I will take other answers if they were actually in it, but there's one particular food or beverage that I'm thinking of that is mentioned by name.
Okay,
right?
Absolutely.
And so it should be pretty recognizable. Maybe not all these ones will be recognizable to you, but
sure.
We'll start with an easy one. This is your warm-up. So, for example, The Lord of the Rings.
Lamb's bread.
Lamb's bread. There you go. It's mentioned by name. It's very specific. It has a feature. So, all right, good, man. You kind of got the idea.
I got it. Yeah, let's do it.
So the first one is Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Butterbeer.
That's it, man. You got it. See, you got this, man.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be an easy one.
Yeah.
I say that now.
The next one, I don't know if you've seen this one or not, but the next one will be The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I have seen it. It's been a while.
It's been a certain.
We talking about OG or Caspian?
Dessert. The OG one. The OG remake. I mean, they had a BBC series that did, but super OG.
And I'm thinking of the scene when like the witch has got the little guy and they're sitting at the table and he starts stuffing his face
full of.
Is it cake?
Nope.
Is it dessert? Is it some sort of dessert?
It is a dessert.
Cupcakes?
No.
Smaller.
Think smaller.
Pie.
Nope.
Think smaller than cupcakes?
Think
cookies?
Finger size.
Little finger sandwiches?
Yeah. No. They're made of fingers.
What's a small brownie? No. What's smaller than a cupcake, man? A muffin?
Amy knows. Nope.
Oh,
all our momentum has come grinding to a halt.
I know, right? All this
started out so
confidence.
well.
I started off. I was like, "This is gonna be fucking easy." Dude, I can't think of any dessert smaller than a cupcake. Is it a muffin? Is it?
Nope.
It's not pie.
Nope.
I already said cake.
Can you visualize them in the sleigh and all that kind of? She gives them the little dish. She opens it up, and inside, good old Tilda Swinton, man. She did such a good job.
Yeah, it's honestly one of Disney's best movies. I'll be honest. Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't Disney. It was Walden Media.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good. It is Disney? Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Is it a chocolate?
Nope.
No.
It's not chocolate. It's a fruity thing.
It's a fruity thing?
Yeah.
What's a fruit?
Giving you all the hints.
I know, man.
Give up?
Yeah, I give up. I don't know.
Turkish Delights.
A Turkish delight? What's a Turkish delight?
Little gelatinous cubes with
I would
fruity
never
flavor.
Yeah, I
and
would
stuff
know.
like
I
that.
didn't know what a Turkish
Can I have
delight
some more
was.
Turkish Delights? No. He was bringing your brothers and sisters to me. All right. Classic movie coming up. Next one. E.T.
E.T. Foam Home.
That's what he likes to do. But what does he like to eat? Made it famous.
Candy.
Yep.
Is it? It's not M&M's. Is it M&M's? No.
Close though.
Hershey's Kiss?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Oh man, they're little candies.
Yep.
Is it like a Kit Kat, Snickers, Starburst?
Nope.
What is this guy eating? And I'm like, is it a yellow package? Is it a white package?
Ooh, yellow and red.
Yellow and red.
Yellow, red, and black. Yellow, red, and brown.
Oh, it's probably some old candy that I can't remember.
You were
for the
close
life
with the
of me.
M&Ms.
The M&M Skittles?
Nope.
No.
Close though. Do you at home?
Reese's Pieces?
Oh, that's it, baby.
Reese's
ding,
Pieces.
ding, ding. After 17 tries, you got it, man.
There
You
we
got
go.
it. I should cut you off after
Yeah, I
3,
like
but-
how this game is like I get one guess and one guess. Over here, I'm just shooting until I hit something.
Yeah, it's all right. It's scattershot. Next one. Pulp Fiction.
Big Kahuna Burger.
Big
That's
Kahuna
a nice
Burger, man.
burger. That's a good burger. I was waiting for you to say
What
that.
did what did it accompany? What did she bring it together? He's like,
Now that's a tasty burger.
no. I'll give you the Big Kahuna Burger, yes, but the $5 shake.
Oh.
That's a $5. That's a good $5 shake.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a good shake.
Okay.
Pretty good. This one's the next easy one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Pizza.
But they don't like. What topping do they not like?
Sardines.
Yeah, anchovies.
Anchovies.
Yeah,
Okay.
sardines,
Same.
It's the fishy one. Yeah, I don't know anybody that would.
No, I don't know.
Next one, we'll see if you get this one. This is a classic '80s movie from my childhood.
Sure.
Goonies.
The Goonies. Oh man.
There's one character that really likes it.
Chunk. Oh, it's a chocolate bar.
But what kind?
Hershey's.
Nope.
No.
He gives it to Sloth.
He gives it to Sloth. It's not a Hershey's bar. Remember in the when he first is all chained up.
Yeah, he's giving it to him, and they're eating it and enjoying it together.
What is it? Snickers?
Nope.
No, it's like a chocolate bar.
Yeah,
Sort of?
it is a chocolate bar. Yeah, it's not a Snickers though. A lot more peanuts.
A lot more peanuts. Three Musketeers.
Nope.
No. Oh my! More peanuts.
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth bar.
Yep, Baby
Oh,
Ruth. He
man.
says it, Baby Ruth.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Next one, we'll see if you get this one. Rocky.
Rocky. Egg yolk.
Yeah.
Protein shake. Yeah. Egg yolk.
Raw eggs.
Raw eggs.
Raw
yeah.
eggs. He puts the
Yeah.
5 raw eggs and then just downs it for the
Yeah.
protein.
How far we've come, huh? To know not
In our
to do
nutrition-
that.
Yeah, I get the salmonella.
Just cook it.
Next, there's a couple in here that you could get. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is the classic 70s one.
Yeah, of course. Where
Not the new.
Candyman in the beginning is definitely.
Yeah.
He should be investigated.
Yes, he should be investigated.
What are they called? Gobstoppers?
What kind of gobstoppers? He's got a...
Incredible. No. Man, this is gonna bother me.
Think eternal.
Think eternal. What does that mean?
I'm on your side today.
I
man.
know
Just
you're
want
on
you
my.
to
You're
see.
giving me a lot.
You got gobstopper. I'll take gobstopper, but what kind of gobstopper? It's the gobstopper.
I know that's.
It's raw eggs. It's the raw egg gobstopper.
It's the raw egg gobstopper. Yeah. Most incredible gobstopper.
People you're on with the radios.
Oh man. I mean, I could just say Wonka Bar too.
You could say Wonka. That's also an everlasting gobstopper.
Everlasting gob. Think eternal.
Yeah.
I was like, the Eternals, like the superhero movie.
Yeah, exactly. The
Jacked Indian guy.
The everlastings. All right, next one. We got two more.
Okay, sure.
Next one, very specifically mentioned, Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious Bastards. Oh, man. Isn't it like a pie?
Yeah, it's a specific kind of dessert, but what does he tell her to wait for? Maybe that could help you.
Oh, no. Not till dessert. No, he's like, no. Oh, frick.
You gotta go back. Now you have to go back and watch. That's your punishment.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, in the beginning, he also asked for a glass of milk.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll take. Yeah, I can take that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does specifically mention it's the strudel. Wait for the cream.
Oh, for the cream. Yeah.
It's just the most horrible experience
I
of her
can't
life.
come to a dairy farm and not try some of your marvelous milk.
Yep. All right, last one. Zoolander.
Zoolander. Oh, no.
You know what could help you work through these deep emotional problems?
Oh, no. Honestly, I say recently, within the last 6 months, watched this movie on a plane because Sydney's never seen it. And I was like, you need to watch this movie.
That's the first movie I saw after 9/11.
Really?
I think it's the first movie that was released after 9/11, yeah.
Well, what a reputation, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It brought
hard
me...
event to follow.
Yeah. It brought me out of my funk. I'll give you a hint. It's from Starbucks.
It's from Star Wars?
Starbucks.
Oh, it's from Starbucks?
Yeah.
A macchiato? It's from Starbucks. What? Oh,
you get one more shot. No, it's a drink.
It's a drink?
Yeah.
Vanilla Frappuccino.
Ooh, almost, but not quite. Orange mocha frappuccino. The jitterbug. You put the brimstone in
and then they go to the gas station
Gasoline
and have a
fight.
gas station fight. Yeah.
Yep.
Gasoline fight.
One more bonus one. I don't know if you played this game, but Portal.
Portal. Oh,
yeah.
no,
What's
no,
the
no.
one food? Okay, cake.
Cake.
All right. Well, that's
no,
it, Cameron. I didn't keep score because I love you so much, but
Thanks,
that's
man.
the game.
I appreciate it. Yeah, my reputation would be tarnished. But that one was actually a lot of fun. Honestly, I was hoping for. Right when you said the name of the game, and Pulp Fiction popped in my mind. I'm like, if he doesn't say Pulp Fiction, I'm gonna get all these wrong.
You were like half and half.
I
We
would
kind of
say
fell off
50-50.
at the end, but you were about half and half. Yeah.
Okay, man.
Nice, man.
That
Well,
was
that's
fun.
it.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the PCFM podcast. Make sure to reach out to us on our social media platforms, Instagram or email, Instagram, PCFM podcast, or our Gmail, PCFM podcast @gmail.com. Don't sleep on our Patreon. Don't sleep.
Don't sleep?
Don't sleep. You never heard that before?
Oh, like get to it right away?
No, don't sleep on it. It's like just saying check it out.
Oh, check it out. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a
Don't
millennial
sleep.
thing.
I got to sleep on
don't
it.
sleep on
It's
it.
like, don't sleep on it.
Don't
Just go
sleep
check
on
it
it.
out.
Just do it, man.
Okay,
Just
cool.
do it. Yep.
I learned something new today.
There you go. And with that, cue music.